Hey everyone, good evening. Chief Meteorologist Darrell Winninger here from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center, and this is a not regularly scheduled deep dive into your forecast. We're going to be looking specifically at the Flat Fire. This fire is 7 miles west of Culver, and it sparked up just as we were going into the evening lineup on ABC and CBS, and here through the next couple of hours, winds are still going to be breezy. It is extremely dry, and several more changes are expected with not much in the way of relief for firefighters until we get further into tonight. So to start things off, this is a picture that was shared with us right at the onset of this event. Karen grabbed this snapshot from near Culver, and this fire, I think it's from Culver Highway, but this fire is 7 miles to the west of Culver. It also has several zones that have fire evacuations for them. First and foremost, a flat fire between Grandview and Geneva. There is a level 3 go now evacuation, and this includes everything from Southwest Graham Road to the south along Geneva Road all the way into Geneva. And the western edge of this level 3 go now evacuation is Fly Lake Road, or Southwest Fly Lake Road. The eastern edge comes almost all the way up to just shy of Lake Billy Chinook, and it includes just where you see that flame, and I can't really pronounce that name there. I think it's Squaw Flat Road, and that's where the fire has been burning. But just off to the east of that, there is a level 1 be ready evacuation. Later on in the event, a level 2 be set evacuation zone was set for some areas as well, and this is fire zone, I think it's Lake Billy Chinook 6, I want to say, and the northern half of it, it's actually been cut in half. The northern half is a level 1 be ready evacuation. The southern half from Southwest Fly Lake Road all the way over to the edge of that zone, further out towards the east slopes of the Cascades, is a level 2 be set evacuation. So again, there are multiple evacuation zones in effect due to the flat fire, and these are all being issued and maintained by the Sheriff's Office of Jefferson County. And at last check, the flat fire was 100 acres, and that was a while ago that we got that update. I want to say a little over an hour ago that we were updated to that. So we're still waiting on fire officials to really update us on exactly how much this fire has grown. But I do know that an incident management team, a type 3 incident management team, has been ordered to the flat fire, and that was as of just shy of 36 minutes ago. So it's something we're continuing to track, and we have several cameras, all courtesy of the Oregon Hazards Lab camera network, that are zoomed in on this fire. The Hinkle Butte looking towards it, Shaniko catches it on the left side, and you can see that huge smoke plume going off to the west and the southwest. Cline Butte's camera has the best view, and it's actually been moving around trying to stay ahead of this fire as it continues to develop, as it continues to grow, as it's still impacted by those winds that have just been breezy through this evening. So let's focus a little bit more on the Cline Butte camera. This time lapse starts shortly after 5 o'clock, a little bit after we got the notice of a developing fire situation in that area. And again, it's 7 miles west of Culver, and this is as seen from the Cline Butte's camera, and you can see that as that fire progressed, where it was burning actually moved further to the west and the southwest, and the fire camera had to reposition to get a better look at it. And this is the one of the most recent views that we have. The fire is still burning as the sun is preparing to set. Now, winds are coming out of the northeast to the southwest, and so there's a couple things that we really want to look at with this next graphic. This is specifically the purple air quality monitoring stations. This is where the flat fire is. Culver's right here. And remember, with breezy winds coming out of the northwest, it's pushing a lot of that coming out of the northeast, pardon me, it's pushing a lot of that smoke to the southwest. So if you focus in on sisters, there are several air quality monitoring stations that are either yellow or orange. There have been times of red or unhealthy air quality, and winds are still going to be breezy for a little while longer. In fact, looking specifically at the Culver station, the observation have winds coming up through that 5 to 15 mile per hour range, up to 10 to 20 miles per hour. Gusts are even higher than that. Some of our gusts are actually running, I believe, between 20 and 25 miles per hour. I'm going to pull a gust one in here real quick, and so we could look at that. And they've actually started to taper off just a little bit. Gusts are still between 15 and 20 miles per hour, but we're still in that range where we're looking at peak wind speeds. And here through the next couple of hours, winds start to taper off. After sunset, we come back down to a light breeze at Culver, and then fast forward to tomorrow, breezy, even gusty at times. So if this fire isn't completely put out and totally contained overnight, we could be looking at a flare-up situation through the day tomorrow. And that's definitely not good, because with breezy winds and very dry conditions, it's not good for firefighters at all. In fact, the relative humidity values measured in percent are in the teens. In that area, it is extremely dry. Sisters, Sun River, and Lapine in the 20s. So we're talking about, this is relative humidity, so it's relative to temperature and dew point. The dew point's very low, the temperature is very high, and we're looking at 17% humidity, 19% humidity, 16 in Bend. And with that, it's not just the surface where we are seeing these very dry conditions. Aloft, overhead, there is a very dry air mass that's built over the Pacific Northwest. And to give you a color code for this, the blue is dry. The yellow is very dry, and the orange and red, that is extremely dry. And there is a slot of extremely dry air over the high desert, and there is a ridge of high pressure building into the Pacific Northwest. This is what's bringing that dry air into play. And when we just focus it a little bit more, where we have these isobars that are close together, that's where winds are breezy, and winds have been breezy for many of us on the high desert. Now, this high pressure that's building into the region is going to keep all of this activity that's to our west and northwest at bay, not letting it come into play. And so until a plume of moisture sets up later this weekend, we continue to have very dry conditions. And with that, we are expecting each afternoon winds to be breezy at times once again. And so our forecast model doesn't have any rain. It has those winds calming down, but picking back up again Friday during the afternoon and evening hours. Late in the day, some clouds roll in, and it's not until Saturday or Sunday that we actually get a chance of rain. So because of this setup, the National Weather Service is a series of heat and fire related weather alerts for the entire state. Closest to us is that red flag warning for the Warm Springs Reservation. And remember, Culver is right here. That fire is right here. So it's just outside of the red flag warning. And the next couple days really don't help at all. We're looking at a heat dome setting up over the Pacific Northwest. Tons of sunshine, hotter temperatures, highs in the 90s Friday. By Saturday, mid to upper 90s and a few triple digits. Even on Sunday, there's only a low chance for some showers by the afternoon hours, not really helping situation at all. So for tonight, we're looking at temperatures not going too far, 50s, a couple 40s, couple 60s. By tomorrow, even hotter, even drier, tons of sunshine, and winds getting breezy during the afternoon with those 90s across the high desert. That does not look good for firefighting conditions. And then by Sunday, we get a chance of a few showers. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, temperatures come down. Winds are still breezy, and there's a chance of some lightning. But let's get back to what we started talking about from the beginning. There is a new fire. This is the Flat Fire, and it is located 7 miles to the west of Culver. There is a series of fire evacuation zones in effect for this fire. The most prominent is that level 3 go now evacuation between Grandview and Geneva, so just south of Lake Billy Chinook, although these are all Lake Billy Chinook fire evacuation zones, and they're maintained by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. And so that's what I'm looking at real quick. So LBC, Lake Billy Chinook 5, is at that level 3, go now evacuation zone. Lake Billy Chinook 4, which is just to the east of 5, is at a level 1, be ready evacuation, and Lake Billy Chinook 6 is split in half. The northern half is a level 1, be ready evacuation. The southern half is a level 2, be set evacuation. Again, this fire continues to grow. Winds are still breezy for much of the Tri-County area, specifically where this fire is. And this is a live view from Oregon Hazards Lab camera network. We have 3 different cameras that are continuing to track the progress of this fire. Each one paints a picture of a big smoke plume. A lot of smoke being thrown into the air. and that fire continuing to grow. And again, at last check, it was 100 acres. I'm checking one more time to see if there's been an update since we started this video. No, it's still at 100 acres per the Interagency Fire Center for Central Oregon and the National Interagency Fire Center. Both have it still at 100 acres, but it continues to grow little by little, and so we're expecting that number to grow as well. That is the latest in weather, the latest about this fire, which is the Flat Fire, and it started earlier this afternoon, 7 miles west of Culver. One more time, here are your evacuation zones. I'm going to leave you with that. I'll have an update later on tonight about whether or not these fire evacuation zones have grown, what the fire size is if we get an update, and whether or not that fire is still spreading. All that coming up tonight at 11 on ABC and CBS. Join us for Central Oregon Daily News. Other than that, have a good evening, and know that we are looking at areas of reduced and quite possibly even poor air quality tonight going into tomorrow. That's it. Y'all have a good one.